spaced out this entire time.
All right, we are live. So we are live, and we are live very impromptu. We did not plan this. Nurse Ash, she was over on her page, and she was discussing voting. So Nurse Ash, before we go forward, and as we allow some eyeballs to come on, can you tell them a little bit about yourself?
So I am a nurse who just actually has a love for data analytics and research analytics. So, I mean, I do obviously healthcare analytics, but I have always had a STEM passion and got my certification in data analytics. That way I can draw the data appropriately. But I, when I got on social media, specifically TikTok, I applied the data in social situations. So I applied it to things that we were talking about. So for instance, the very first live that I talked about was the Black femicide rates. Then I talked about Black women's education attainment. And now with the political environment, I went over political analytics. And when I did the political analytics, I got over to the Black women's voting history.
All right, so we got a few set of eyeballs in the chat right now. And for the record, I am outside. So if you guys hear any of my coworkers, it's the birds talking. They have things to discuss. So I literally just went and got my Nevada driver's license because I moved to Las Vegas about a month and a half ago. So I just got my driver's license and I registered to vote. So yay. But you were talking just on TikTok 5 minutes ago before I pulled you over here. You were saying something about Black women and how we vote at a higher percentage than everybody. What were you saying? Because I happen to also be a Black woman and I also vote. So,
Go figure.
Oh yeah, I am. I'm Black. So what were you saying about our numbers? For y'all that don't know, Ash is a numbers girl. If y'all think that I'm a numbers girl, this is a numbers woman. She'll go live and always have these numbers. So what were you saying about that?
Yeah, the interesting thing is I end up going in these deep dives about stuff. So once I look at something, I'll look up another thing and look up another thing and then find myself on a whole different tangent. But what I found was Black women have had consistently a stronger voter turnout among pretty much everyone, race or gender excluded. Even though we're relatively low population, like we're about 7 to 8% of the population, yet we have the highest turnout. And you see me looking away, I'm looking at my computer. Going back to 2008 and 2012, which was both of Barack Obama's elections, it was I'm gonna look. 70%.
70% of eligible Black women voters?
That was who voted. Actually, no, they registered at 70% and then they voted at, they voted at 70%. That actually is crazy because usually voting is 60s in the 60 percentile, like 60, 65. For instance, I'm going to compare it. This was in 2012. White women voted 65%, white men 62%, African American women 70%, African American men 61%, Latinas, this is a women, 49, Latino men 46, Asian women 48, Asian men 46. So everyone else was 60s, 50s. Black women were 70.
70%. So were we the highest? Were we the highest demographic of voters?
We were the highest. No one else was 70. Like the lowest person, the second person that was close to us was Black women or white women at 65.
Wow. So that's the reason why they're always coming after us.
That would understand the whole kerfluffle online on TikTok about the Israel issue with black women and good and behind Harris. If you notice that, but I was like, I'm actually even surprised. I seen it, but I actually didn't see the number. I'm like, 70% is crazy because on average, people are voting at like 60 to 65% every single election. So for black women to show out at 70% is crazy. For this was in 2012. So 2008, that was actually Barack Obama's second term. So they was really trying to get that man in the second time.
So what was the turnout this past election?
For 2020, I got to skip through about four. It was 90. I know they did it at like 96% voted for her, but I got to see how much. It was a little bit lower. It was in the 60s. It went back down. Let me see. So I know 96% of them, I don't know, 94% of them voted for Hillary Clinton, 96% voted for Barack Obama in both elections, and then 90% of them voted for Biden Harris. But the percentage that voted was in the 60s, so it dropped back down to the baseline. So let me see.
Wow. So, but our baseline, okay, so I can see why they are always courting us. What is wild is it seems like there are some voices that tend to get overshadowed. Like when we are trying to push Black women to vote or whatever, what are you seeing as far as the numbers? And please speak to what you were talking about before when you were talking about how we should stop listening to a certain demographic that's trying to encourage us not to vote. What were you saying?
Oh, so I was saying that there's a certain demographic of people, men, black men, that were saying your vote doesn't count, so you might as well not vote. And I was like, no, your vote don't count, so you shouldn't vote. You need to speak for yourself. So
Right.
67%, sorry, 67% of eligible black women are registered to vote, and that's the percentage of women that actually. Okay, so the baseline is about 65 to 67%. I'm sorry, I have like seven tabs open, so I was like, let me go to see which one it was in there. So yeah, I was the joke that I was making. I'm like, just because your vote don't count and you don't want to vote because you guys have the lowest like numbers, don't mean we shouldn't. Because we are literally swaying elections. Black women have voted at the highest numbers, and actually the vote has swayed the last 5 elections. So I'm
Wow.
gonna need y'all to speak for yourselves and allow Black women to register at high numbers and vote at high numbers.
And we're probably more densely in the urban areas. Is that true?
Correct.
Okay. So even if there is a handful of Black women that say, I'm not voting for her because of this, this, and that, that vote is probably going to be overshadowed by the rest of us.
Yeah, and one thing I was actually going to talk about was I don't know where they're getting that from, because before there was a poll that was done back in, when did she announce? Do you remember?
I do remember because we moved here July 20. So it was like some Sunday in July, like maybe the third Sunday in July, because we were packing up the house. My husband was like, he just dropped out. So it had to be like July 21st or something like that.
So they did a poll back in from July 28th. They collected the data from July 28th to August 7th. And it was a sample of 700 Black women registered across party lines, ages, and education levels. So they didn't just do Democrats. They didn't do just the young ones, and they didn't just do educated women. They made sure it was balanced. Um, 63% said they strongly approved how she was handling her role as VP. 78%, if the election was held today, 78% said that they would vote for her. 80% were worried about the racist attacks against her. Only 3% said that they would back Donald Trump. 12% were undecided at that time.
How many said that they would vote for Donald Trump?
3%.
3%. Well,
So
the
3 out of
reason,
like 800. So that sounds like 1%.
so yeah, I was just wondering because just yesterday I was scrolling Facebook and I saw this woman that was going hard against her because of the fact that she is the vice president and she hasn't done certain things because of the fact that she's the vice president and she doesn't have the power to do certain things, but still that doesn't make people stop sharing memes. um I'm sure you've probably seen those memes like, why can't she just do certain things right now because she's the VP? But to that, I wonder, you know, why Trump doesn't get held to a certain standard considering he was the actual president during a certain amount of time. And what did he do for women's rights during his time except erode women's rights?
I really need Schoolhouse Rock to come back
Yes.
because
Yes.
even I know, because I'm not as I don't, know about different functions of the state, but I could easily look it up. As you can tell, I will look some stuff up. But even I know that the role of the vice president isn't to write laws and to do all of this stuff. But it really annoys me, and I mean, I do it too. I place so much more on other Black women's shoulders than I would do on white men. Like, you already just kind of assume they're going to be subpar because subpar white men are going to get way farther in life than the average Black woman. So you're going to place the bar for the average Black woman here and like a college educated Wharton graduate white man down here. Because
Right.
I want to know the same thing. The vice president only has two roles:
Yes.
Senate
So,
tiebreaker
yes.
and make sure you stand in the way of, or take over for the president whenever he's not able to do his duties. So
Yes.
what makes you think she was going to be able to get anything done?
And I would venture to say, and this is without even like looking, that Mitch McConnell had more power than her. I'm just guessing Mitch McConnell had more power.
What makes me annoying, like it really kind of grinds my gears, is those Black women are using, and even the Black men are using the same talking points that I hear MAGA Republicans saying. They are not having any original ideas.
It is that, but can you do me a favor? Take over this live for just a moment. Speak about how a federal law moves. Like, speak about Schoolhouse Rock real quick. I need to go get my son some tater tots. I
Okay.
Someone said that they're hungry. So talk about how a law actually gets passed. Give me like 1 minute and I'll be back, y'all.
Okay. So, ooh, shoot, you got the wrong person doing that. But no, I mean, so the vice president doesn't just say, "Oh, let me do a law and I'm just going to put the law in." The Congress has to pass the law. So I really wish I'm not even old enough to do Schoolhouse Rock. That's the weird thing. That was my mom's generation. I just remember her talking about it. Um, but yeah, so it has to come up. Laws, they're also known as acts of Congress. So they are brought up they have to be passed by both the Senate and the House of Representatives. So whenever you're voting, as a side note, make sure you're voting in people who are representing whatever ideas that you have into the Senate and into the House of Representatives. So if you're over here voting red no matter what, because that's what Republicans do, if you are starch Republican, I'm just gonna vote Republican no matter what. Yet, for instance, I feel strongly about climate change. They don't give an F about climate change. They're not voting any climate change policies. As a side note, a representative from either party has to sponsor the bill, and then the bill has to be assigned to a committee. The
Yes.
committee checks out the bill, makes sure that if revises it or does whatever, they release the bill. people debate on it, and then they vote on it. Once the bill passes, it moves it from the Senate to the House or from the House to the Senate. Both sides have to agree upon it. So the House says
Yes.
aid is cool. They vote on it. They take it to the Senate. The Senate says, oh, that's cool. Usually it just bounces back and forth because one party is in control of the House and one party is in control of the Senate. And usually they just mad at each other. But if it passes both of them, then it goes to the president. President's like, all right, cool, I sign it, and then it's a law. Now, if he don't like it, it gets kicked back, and then we got to start that. It gets vetoed, and then yeah, it's got to be a 2/3. So if
So
he doesn't like it, it gets vetoed.
that's the reason
Now,
why
if
I
it gets
said.
vetoed, it gets kicked back to the Congress. They can override the veto with a 2/3 vote, but the 2/3 vote has to be in each chamber. So if the president doesn't like it, Congress can say screw you, and override it, but each chamber has to do a 2/3 majority. So that's where it gets confusing.
So today was very, very last minute for you and for me and for everybody in the chat. I do want to sit down and have this discussion, but I was wondering if we could schedule something where we have like a little bit more time to, prepare, try to get more women on and all of that. Do you have time to maybe do that on Sunday?
Yeah,
Sunday morning? Well, hold on. What time zone are you in currently?
well, yeah. Currently, East Side. East Side is the right
So
side.
it's 5 o'clock right now where you are.
Yep.
Can you do 12 o'clock your time on Sunday, which would be 9 o'clock my time?
You're getting up early.
I'm
Yep.
not early. What? I'm
You mean
up
9
late.
a.m.?
9 a.m. my time, noon your
Then
time on
noon?
Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay. Because today I did just want to jump on for I don't want to dive too deep because I do need to go back in there and do mom stuff. But I do want to at least show you off to some of these people to see if we can maybe get all of the people that are in here currently to come back on Sunday, which is 2 days from now. It would be 9 o'clock on the West Coast, it would be noon on the East Coast so that we can discuss voting, anything else that we want to discuss as far as getting politically active and, just see if we can get more people because literally we got 31 sets of eyeballs and that's with zero prep time. So imagine what
Ooh,
we could do. We got 31 sets of eyeballs. Isn't that
that's
wild?
a nice little lunch and learn.
um,
Or
and
breakfast and chat. I don't know.
Yeah, so 31 sets of eyeballs with literally no time to prepare. And at 9 a.m. on Sunday, my kids should still technically be asleep for at least an hour.
At
So,
9?
yeah, yeah.
Girl, you a better mom than mine was. She had me up doing cleaning this stuff at 9 a.m. playing that old music.
No, I'm going to let them sleep because I want to work.
Oh,
I'm usually making videos or something at that particular time. All right, y'all. So today we're just talking about is everybody in the chat? Is everybody in the chat registered to vote? Let's get a yes or a no if you're registered to vote and what city you are coming out of. So let's see. Let's see what we got going on.
because personally, I would love, especially if you're a black woman, that registration number and that vote number to be higher. Like I want to show out. Like I want that 70% to be like 80, 85. Like I want it to be so much higher.
So have you seen where numbers are growing? Do you have access to all of that as far as where it stands as far as like registration percentages?
All I seen was that one that was on TikTok where the young black women went up 175% since the last this time 4 years ago, 2020, and then black women went up overall by 125%. Let me see. And then because some states don't give that data out, so this was key swing states. And they actually included 13 swing states. They didn't include just the previous seven. There's actually seven and not five swing states they're including. So let me see.
Yes. We got a citizen overseas that's registered to vote.
Nice.
Karina says she's in the UK and she's registered to vote. So I think it's going to be pretty exciting, the way we see people mobilize. I voted when Obama was coming into office, and the electricity was in the air. There was a sense of excitement. I could feel it, it was palpable. And I don't want to get myself too excited about what I'm feeling right now, but I'm feeling like there is an electricity around the Harris Walls campaign that we haven't seen in a while. And I don't know, do you see that? Do the people in the chat see that as well? What are you seeing as far as, or feeling as far as excitement?
I mean, I feel like when people actually touch grass, people are excited. Online, I think there's a campaign to really make her look like Hillary Clinton, like the bashing that she went through. That it was. I'm gonna get on my soapbox for a second. The bashing that Hillary Clinton went through was uncalled for, but I think they're trying to recreate that with Harris, and just so the usual racist spin on top of that one. But in real life, you see Harris. Well, I don't think they see a lot of Harris Wall t-shirts now, but you see a lot of Harris, Biden with the Biden scratched off. Like it's way more energetic. But the city I live in is black me black black yo, so you see a lot more. Anytime somebody black running for something, baby, that thing is coming out. But I'm a largely Democratic area, so it doesn't matter who was running. It was gonna be blue no matter who, because they tend to
Yeah.
support the candidate regardless.
Right. And that's where I am. I have said several times that I would vote for a half dead goat before I voted for a Republican at this particular point. Jim in life, I am just here as a test run for a live. I know you just came in, and I appreciate what you do as far as telling people to hit the live. We just literally went live for just a minute. I'm not going to be on here long because I do need to go back into the house and do some schoolwork with my kids. We are going to go live on Sunday at 9 a.m. West Coast time, noon on the East Coast. Nubian, what I just said, we are not really live here right now. This is kind of an illusion. This is us.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm here, but we're going to
Soft
really,
launch.
yeah, this is a soft launch. In 2 days, we're going to go live on Sunday, 9 a.m. Pacific time, noon on the East Coast. So we're just kind of here. This is Ash. Ash wanted to have take her hair down and have some bigger hair. So we're going to give Ash the
Yeah,
opportunity
this is
to
my
take her.
braid. It's gonna be my braid out. Y'all know how it is. Got to keep 2 days of braid in, so the braid out gonna be looking
Yeah.
on
So
Sunday.
I
So
wanted to give her the opportunity to say hi to y'all now, but then have her big hair in 2 days. So that's what we want to do. She's sitting up here, but in the meantime, y'all can follow her. She does a lot of numbers on her TikTok, and I don't think she does as much over here on YouTube. But if you want to give them your information on TikTok, she is a very data driven woman. So if you want to
yeah, I've
give,
been really lazy on here. I was gonna just like move the videos, but I'm like, dang, I gotta edit the videos on TikTok and put them on here too.
so
So once
yes.
I get unlazy, I promise I'm gonna put them over here. What is my page? I mean, it's Ashland on there too, but there's like 1,000 Ashland. So the actual handle is nurse. It's still the same, nurse Ash underscore travels,
Let me
and it
see.
pops up as Ashland.
I'm gonna see if I can find you real quick because I do need to get off of here. I just wanted to bring y'all I wanted to introduce y'all to Nurse Ash because she is pretty phenomenal as far as the data that she brings. And if one day I can figure out how to make it so that I can create presentations, I will do that as well. Hold on, let me see here. I think I can put this in the chat. Here we go.
Oh, I guess I could too.
So
I just seen that.
so if you guys are on TikTok, here is Nurse Ash's Here's Nurse Ash's TikTok link. So go over there and find her. And
That's
I
also the
will.
backup. I have a backup, so you already know how it is.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So Naya says she's only over here. Oh, it's okay. I'm gonna bring her back on here. This was very, very impromptu, knowing that it's 2 o'clock and I'm supposed to be doing some schoolwork with the kids. Put her YouTube on here too. Okay.
And I can post some of the clips that I posted to TikTok from the lives that I did. I'll post some of them on here so you guys can get a good idea of what the lives are looking like. Honestly, I'll be doing a lot of clapbacks with the trolls and because they won't let me breathe. They won't let me live on there. I'll be trying to do some of the data, and the data is over some like heavy topics like the black femicide rates, and then somebody will be in the live troll, and then I just like clap back at them real quick. So um, I will post some of those, and of course they're going to be shorter videos because it's TikTok. But I'll start posting some of those, and then I'll eventually post the longer because the video, my TikTok lives are longer. They're like 4 hours, 6 hours. That's why I've been lazy on posting them on here. I'm like, I gotta cut through 6 hours. Come on.
There you go. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get off of here. I know I stole you off of TikTok real quick, but
Thanks.
we did have 32 sets of eyeballs. So if we could make sure I have 32, at least 32 likes before we get out of here, that would be cool. But we'll be back in a couple of days. We will be back in 2 days. I'll have an opportunity to really put us up and see how many people we can get to come over there, and we're going to chit chat.
And I'll post some videos again when I get off here. I'll post some videos so you guys will get a good idea of what
Of
the lives look like.
All right, y'all. All right, guys. I know that I really came in here and did a hit and quit, but I gotta go. I gotta go ahead and do some schoolwork with the kiddos.
You know, black people.
Oh, it's
All
okay,
right.
Trisha. Trisha, hold on before I get off. Before I get out, Trisha, Savar, we are not. You're not missing anything. We are going to go live on Sunday at 9 a.m. What did I say? 9 a.m. West Coast time. We're going to go live Sunday at noon on Sunday. We are not. You're not missing anything on this one. We did not really deep dive as much as we're going to. This is just a soft launch. You did not miss anything. Don't worry about it. And I'm going to make sure to put some information up in a community post and do a promo and everything. So don't even trip. All right. 2 days. We'll be here. All right, then. All right, Nurse Ash, I'll see you.
All right. Bye.
All right. Bye, everybody.